Hi kids, welcome to Children's Chapel, and it's your vicar, Vicki. Today we're going to spend about 5 minutes talking about the most important days in the church year, Holy Week. So let's get into it. Holy Week begins next Sunday, a day we call Palm Sunday. And we call it Palm Sunday because, well, we have palms. So what's this all about? Let's look at the story. When Jesus made his final trip to Jerusalem, the people heard he was coming. And because he'd done so many wonders and healings and miracles, they all came out into the streets to welcome him like a king. The Lord entered the city on the back of a donkey, and the people cheered and cried, "Hosanna in the highest." And like they would for a king, the people put palm branches down into the street as his donkey passed. And that's why on Palm Sunday, you and I get palms, and they're blessed, and we hold them high in the air, and we say, "Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord, Hosanna in the highest." Maundy Thursday is a very special day for a couple of reasons, and one of them is that basin and towel. Maundy Thursday, we receive a commandment from the Lord to be servants of one another, to serve as he served us. Let's take a look at that story. So around Passover time, the disciples met to share a meal together and to pray. And as was the custom, they were going to call a servant to wash the dirt from their feet. Sandals, feet, dirt roads, you get the idea. Well, Jesus got down on his knees and he decided to wash their feet, and they were in shock. Peter especially had a hard time. Didn't want Jesus to wash his feet. But Jesus said, "Peter, you have to let me do this for you. I'm giving you an example so that what I'm doing, you will do too." So Peter let up and let the Lord wash his dirty feet. And then they sat down at table for the traditional Passover meal, which was the most important meal for our Jewish brothers and sisters. It still is. But during the meal, Jesus did something new, something that we wouldn't really understand for a very long time. And sometimes even now we don't understand it because it's too wonderful. He said the blessing and thanked God for the food on the table. And then he took the bread and broke it. And you know what happens next. He reminds them that this bread is his body and this wine is his blood, and that every time they eat this bread and drink this cup, they are to remember him and his love for them. So after dinner, they went off into the garden, and Jesus wanted some time alone to pray. He often did this. He would spend some time with the Father in prayer. But this time he was a little worried because things were heating up in the city of Jerusalem. And there were people who were jealous of Jesus and resented him and thought that he wasn't really the Son of God. So trouble was brewing. So Jesus asked God to help him to be strong in the days ahead. And that very night, angels came to give him comfort. When he got back down the mountain, he found his friends sound asleep. Meanwhile, in the city, soldiers were getting ready to come and take Jesus away. It was already in the works, the betrayal. They came and they arrested Jesus and they took him away. And that brings us to Good Friday. Good Friday is the day that Jesus died, the day that he was taken with a couple of other criminals and executed for claiming to be God's son. Powerful people can sometimes use their power for bad things as well as good things. And this time, powerful people use their power to crucify Jesus. He died on a cross on Good Friday afternoon with two criminals, one on his right and one on his left. It was the saddest day the earth had ever seen. And the people were so sad and devastated. They didn't want to lose him. He died around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And they took Jesus down from the cross and put his body in the tomb and pushed the big heavy stone rock in front of the tomb and sealed it shut. And just to make sure there was no funny business, the powerful people put some soldiers there at the tomb to guard the body. That was Friday. And 2 more days passed before something extraordinary happened. There was an earthquake, and the stone moved all by itself and fell down from the entrance of the tomb. And there was a great light, a very bright, warm light. And somewhere in that light, God gave Jesus life again. God raised him from the dead. First time that's ever happened in the history of the world. And there were women who went to the tomb. That Sunday morning was the custom to bring perfume and lotion for the body. So it was like a comfort. It was a grieving ritual, a way to be sad and be together. But when they got to the tomb, they saw that big, huge, heavy stone had been moved away, and the soldiers were gone. The women looked inside, and he was gone. The place where they laid his body was empty, and there was an angel there instead. And the angel said, "He is risen." And the women were amazed. And Mary Magdalene and the other women took this good news to town. And the apostles, who were pretty scared at that point, opened the door and could not believe the news. And Peter and James and the others told people one by one, Jesus is alive. God raised him from the dead. It's a miracle. And the people rejoiced. And Jesus appeared to his disciples, not just once or twice, but a bunch of times in the next 50 days. And we'll talk about that after Easter. But he was with them until it was time for him to go back to the Father. So this is the good news of Easter. And we go through an awful lot in that Holy Week, from palms to the basin and the towel, the bread and the wine, to the cross on Friday, into sadness and darkness, and then into the marvelous light of God's love, the love that is stronger than death, a love that will give each one of us the life that Jesus has in God. It's a wonderful story. It's a most wonderful story. Let's have a holy, holy week.